Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well, and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there pushing the same truth that was given to us by the Presbytery, which is the elders. And shalom to the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners of the globe that may look like Israel or may not, having being dwelled in the heathen's land. All right, this is a drone with a QR code over China, and it basically gave people the ability to see if they could leave the city or not by scanning the QR code. But it's really just getting people ready for the fact that they're going to have checkpoints where certain people can leave a city and certain people cannot. Certain people can go into a certain area and certain people won't be able to. You know, it shows you stuff like that in movies like what was it, In Time or Just in Time, something with Justin Timberlake, where they had the credits. It was kind of like the Mark of the Beast system that E's trying to push out right now. Well, yeah, they had it set up, you know, where it was certain checkpoints, and people kind of have that idea living out here in Chicago with the tollways, to where you can't go into a certain city unless you have a certain amount to enter that city, or you have the iPass. Well, this is going to be the iPass on steroids, man. You know, where they're going to have military personnel, not just police officers, because they show you that the police force isn't being able to do much. You know, that's why out here people have been disregarding them so much to the point they had to bring out the snow plows if they didn't want somebody to go into a certain area, or if there was an event going on and they didn't want you to travel down a certain street and they wanted to block it off. They've been bringing out the snow plows again, like they did when all the rioting was going on in 2020. You know, but this is just gearing people up for that, because sooner or later you're gonna have military personnel marching down the street telling you when to get back in the house, and there's gonna be a curfew because of the sedition among men. But this is also gonna bring about more sedition, because you know, when people's backs are against the wall, or when their freedoms are infringed upon, that's when people begin to be more wild, man. You know, it says, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled and the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. You know, so it's really just going to turn up the wickedness in this land, and not just in places like Illinois, but all over the U.S., really all over the globe. But we always mention the U.S. because it's going to turn up even harder, since these people are the most unruly and the most guns are manufactured here. Well, if not manufactured, Salaki, but America has the most weapons for the most part, man. When it comes to things like guns, as far as the citizens being able to easily access getting firearms. This is Matthew chapter 24. Verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Which is another reason why they're gonna be setting up those checkpoints, because you're gonna have more diseases out here, you know, that are gonna be orchestrated by but also, you know, orchestrated by the Most High, because it's just gonna be from the dead bodies also raises pestilence, and it's gonna be a lot of dead out here. You know, when animals change their places, and you have certain animals like rats, which is a high level of rats in Chicago and in Illinois, that carry diseases. But what do they mostly eat? They eat unclean things, man, like shit and dead carcasses. So this is also going to increase the fact that they're going to be checkpoints. You know, just like you're watching in certain movies like Contagion, things like that, to where, you know, you have the government and the military getting involved along with the medical field, and they have these medical tents set up and they have guys outside those medical tents with rifles. Well, that's just giving you a picture of what's to come, man. You know, all right. And it says earthquakes, because you're gonna have a lot of natural disasters that's going on because of the judgment that the Lord is gonna be bringing to this place. All right, and the famines, of course. You know, people are gonna be dying from famine so much that even if they were to able to get to food, that could distort their whole their biological system. You know, it can fuck up the way that you even eat. If you're going without food for so long, your body can't really take in certain matter. You would have to liquefy it or eat it a certain way to be able to process it without it messing up your system. You know, I forget what they call it, but I'm not a doctor, but I do know that is true. You know, especially if you ever had experience with going without eating for a certain time, your palate kind of changes a little bit. But yeah, you're gonna be having things like that as well, man. And once again, you're gonna have the medical field and the military acting as one, getting involved, man. All right. But it says in verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you. It's like that's going to something else. But yeah, it says these are the beginning of sorrows, man. You know, this is just the beginning of it. Once those things start coming into play, along with that C hip, that's when we're really in the end game, man. That's going to be the beginning of no turning back. Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. So yeah, when the military hit these streets, man, and there are checkpoints going on, and people aren't able to go to McDonald's and grab a $1 chicken sandwich with all the abominable things that it's made with, you know. When somebody's not able to go down the street just to grab a roll of toilet tissue from a Falcon gas station, that's when we've hit the beginning of sorrows, man. There is no turning back. And it said, of great mournings. Because once again, the American public aren't going to stand for it because they've been taught to be unruly, to get their way. They've been told that they had the illusion of freedom. And they want to do whatever it is to keep it going. I remember a brother had told me he had a dream that it looked like shit had basically cracked, but people were still going to the club, which makes sense because people's mindsets in time of anguish is to still search out for that bread and circus. They still want that bread and circus and that entertainment, and they'll do whatever it is to get it. But it says the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? Which is, Ezra is quoting, he's going to what Peter had said. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Well, we ought to fear the Lord regardless. You know, and that plan doesn't make sense to the carnal mind because it's like, that's it. Y'all ain't got nothing. Nigga, what about the guns? What about the... Well, at the end of the day, if you want to say it... if you want to talk about this on a carnal level, we're pretty much outgunned already. So, yeah, if you want to say have hope, well, you got to have hope in something else then. Oh, you guys don't have no hope. Well, not in the thing that you're talking about, because that wouldn't make sense. Well, I just wanted to chime in on that. Sooner or later, that's going to be coming here, man. You know, like just like they did it in Wuhan, China with the boogeyman. You know, it looks like they're starting out there again with the which I'm not sure if that was that might have been Korea, but it looked like that was somewhere in China, especially according to the writing. But Hey, they're gonna bring that here, man. But with that, I'm gonna end this lesson off and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakapadash, Shalom, and Abba Babal.